Ozi vizimratia vayhi vishua Ozi vizimratia vayhi vishua.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I know that we have many who have come from near and far to help celebrate this beautiful Shabbat, at which time both Nicholas and Andy will be called to the Torah as B'nai Mitzvah, and we are thrilled by your presence and will be even more excited by your participation. So even if you're not familiar with our religious services or customs, you can still participate because everyone has a prayer book. So I want to make sure you all take one. It is the navy book right in front of you with the flame on top. Make sure it has a flame. It's called the Mishkan Tefillah. And you can follow along in Hebrew, in English, and of course there is transliteration as well. Truly, it will be Nicholas and Andy who will be leading us in all of our worship, but there are times when we will sing as well, so feel free to tap your foot, hum along, and get into the joy of Sabbath. Well, the very first thing that's going to happen now, before both Nicholas and Andy can take their place here on the bima, is that they are going to be physically marked as B'nai Mitzvah. At the age of 13, every boy and girl is enwrapped in what is known as a prayer shawl or a talit. What makes the garment a religious garment is not the colors or its beauty, but the four corners, which represent the four corners of the Jewish world, which will now enwrap them in their lives. And on each corner are strings known as tzitzit, and they are wrapped to represent the 613 commandments in the Torah, all of which Nicholas and Andy have memorized. So please be sure to ask them about it. So it is always a special treat. The talit is either a new tradition or one where our young men and women make their own, or perhaps comes from Israel, from travels, or gifted down from great-grandparents and grandparents. But in this case, each is starting a new tradition. So Nicholas, I'm going to welcome you forward now with your grandmother, Mary. Go take your place. And we're going to invite Mary Guth to come forward because together the two of them actually made this talit together. So it's very special that they should be together. And Mrs. Guth, if you would please show and tell, that would be lovely because it's really quite beautiful. They tied the tzitzit themselves. And it is beautiful with Naam's name on it, and that is Nicholas's Hebrew name. And now, Andrew, I'm going to invite you up to take your place with your parents, David, Melissa, and in the family. Each today is receiving a brand new talit. So you are going to enwrap a talit very similar to that of your dad, who also got a new talit for this occasion. And now that you're all enwrapped, we want Nicholas and Andy to repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav,
asher kishanu b'mitzvotav,
v'tzivanu, lehit atev, b'tzitzit. Amen. And we thank God for the privilege of allowing ourselves to enwrap ourselves in the talit. All right, the first of many hugs. Give them all a hug. both of you are coming over here. Remember, you're going to do your welcome.
Welcome to our Shabbat services at Temple Har Shalom. A special welcome to all those joining us over our live webcam. For the past year, we have studied what it means to become a B'nai Mitzvah, child of the commandments. Through the many hours of work, we have come to understand and now fully accept the responsibilities of the mitzvot and our Judaism. We are pleased that all of you can be here today to share this special occasion. We hope you will participate in our service and be respectful of its holiness. We would especially like to ask our friends to be courteous to the rabbi, cantor, and the other worshipers. Please refrain from speaking to one another during the service.
Please turn off all cell phones and any electronic devices. There is no texting or use of electronic devices during our service. In addition, please do not chew gum or eat candy in the sanctuary. We ask too that you remain in your seats during the entire service and avoid going in and out of the sanctuary. We have worked long and hard to reach this milestone and hope you will be attentive and considerate to us, to the rabbi and the cantor as we lead the service. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekianu v'kimanu v'hekianu lazman hazeh. Praised are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who has kept us in life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this moment.
Our service continues with the chanting of Ma Tovu, page 290, in your Mishkan Tefillah.
You're going to go sit down. You're opening up to morning blessings.
Ma Tovu, Ahai Lecha Yaakov, Mishkenu Techa Yisrael. Ma Tovu, Ahai Lecha Yaakov, Mishkenu Techa Yisrael.
On page 293, we continue with our morning blessings. It is traditional that after Nicholas chants each blessing, we answer him with an Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah.
Amen. To lead us in our next reading on page 297, it's a pleasure to welcome forward the one who will stand here in just another year or two. Samantha, come on up.
Adonai our God, make the words of your Torah sweet to us, and the house of Israel your people, that we and our children may be lovers of your name and students of your Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of Torah to our people Israel.
We continue with the Baruch Hu on page 313, and we ask you to please rise. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach li'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamivorach li'olam va'ed.
We continue on page 318 with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
And you may be seated. We're going to continue chanting on page 319.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uv'lechtecha b'derech Ushokbecha ukumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayula totafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tiskeru va'atzitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yotem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher otzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim leot lachem lelochim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 321.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Kamocha bayrim Adonai, kamocha tidor b'kodesh, norad hilot usefella, norad hilot usefella, shira chadasha shibchu geulim, l'shimcha al sfat hayam, yachol kulam hodu, hodu v'himlechu v'amru, ya papa bim bim bam, ya papa bim bam, ya papa bim bim bam, ya papa bim bam, ay 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 ay, ya papa bim bam, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Page 323, the central part of our service is so important that it is only called tefillah, the prayer, and we rise and remain standing through its entirety.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagin, tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevin Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshiach U'Magein, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayi HaKol Atara v'Hoshia, Morit Atah, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayi HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Samech Noflim Rafei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, Umkayim Emunato, Lishini Yafar, Bichamocha Bal Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'Lemanatah Lachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, B'chayi HaKol.
We are on page 326.
נקדיש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב עליה נביאך, וכרזה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדירנו אדוני, אדוני אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני לנצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To all generations, we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You may all be seated. Page 329 to lead us in our next prayer. It's a pleasure to welcome one that will soon follow Andrew on the bima, and that is Chloe.
Yismachu v'malhuta shamrei Shabbat v'garei oneg. Am mikadshe shvi'i kulam yisbu'u v'yitangu mituvecha. V'hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashto chemdat yamim oto karata zecher lema'aseh v'reshit. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallows it as Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For, being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation.
We continue on the top of page 330.
Ritzi Adonai Eloheinu v'amecha Yisrael utfilatam v'ahavat tikabel utilratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levadcha b'yira navod. It's nice to know I'm in the same tonality as the ringtone.
If someone could please check so that we could continue with our service and make sure that all phones are on the off position. We'll continue on page 331.
Modim anachnu lach sha'atahu Adonai Eloheinu belohei avotenu be'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Tsor hainu magen yishenu atahu lador vador. Nodelacha unsaper tehilatecha al hainu hamsurim biadecha. Be'al nishbotenu hapkudot lach. Be'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu. Ve'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebechol et erev va'voker v'tzohoraim hatov. Ki lo chalu rachamecha v'chamrachim ki lo tamu chasadecha me'ulam kivinu lach. Ba'al kulam yitbarach v'yit ramam shimcha malkenu tamid le'olam va'ed. V'chol ha'hayim yoducha selah v'hallelu et shimcha be'emet ha'el nishu'atenu ve'ezratenu selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'tov shimcha ulcha na'el lehudot.
We continue with Sim Shalom on the top of page 334.
Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova veracha. Yararai, Sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, tova uveracha.
Page 336, I'd ask that we all read together at the top of the page. We sit in community, elbow to elbow, eye to eye, so close perhaps we brush against each other as we move in prayer, ears filled with the voices of friends, teachers, and fellow travelers who pray with us from the next seat, from across the room. We come to silence, rhythm of words, shared melody, hushed. Connected first, one to all, we now let go, to be alone with the Holy One, to speak in mind and heart and soul, but not with lips. The prayers we weave together cannot replace that private conversation. God, our partner, awaits us, one by one, a miracle. And so each time in our service, whenever we are gathered, we always take time to leave the words of the prayer book and instead concentrate on the thoughts of our hearts and our minds. On Shabbat, the theme is most simple. You have heard the word over and over again. It's the word shalom. Some say it means hello, others say it's a greeting goodbye, and still others say peace. But the true meaning, if translating the Hebrew, is completeness. One can only find peace in the world and peace within themselves if each and every individual feels complete and at peace with themselves. And so on Shabbat, once a week, we are given the opportunity to remind ourselves that we have much to be grateful for. Instead of concentrating on ourselves and our own needs, we instead look inward to find gratitude. And that's what we have today, a great deal of gratitude for the ability to share with two such special young men and their families and friends, to realize that they at a very young age are committing themselves to a very, very mature place in the Jewish community. It is an awesome responsibility, and each has taken it on with somewhat of excitement, but definitely a great deal of dedication and hard work. We actually are having fun on the Bima, and that goes to show you that they are comfortable with who they are, how their families have raised them, and the pride that they take in this day. We have a lot to be grateful for. We pause for a few moments.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know
We are now going to turn to that part of our service where we take the Torah from the ark, pass it generation to generation, and then allow both Andy and Nicholas to carry the Torah throughout the congregation, showing their acceptance of its teachings and a life dedicated to doing the very best they can in life, and also making the offering for anyone else who would like to accept Torah to do so. The Torah is, in our Jewish tradition, the most precious object we have. Therefore, we treat it like royalty. You will notice that it is dressed in a beautiful garment and covered with crowns and breastplates. And likewise, whenever it is in our midst, we remain standing until it is back in its place and comfortably put. And also, whenever the Torah is here in the sanctuary, it really is the most inappropriate time to ever exit or enter. So I know people feel comfortable when everyone is standing to think no one sees you leaving. However, may I remind you that our live webcast sees everything. And actually, so do we here on the Bema. So we understand at times when people need to leave. But just a reminder of how precious this time in our service is, and the attention that both Nicholas and Andrew will give to this part. To open the ark doors, it is a pleasure to welcome from Nicholas's family, Jocelyn and Michael, Chris and Sarah, Alex and Hugh Ling. And I'd ask everyone to rise as parents and grandparents now come forward.
Ki mitzion titzli Torah, Ki mitzion titzli Torah, udivar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch Adonai
Oh, right here.
Once again, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We are honored to have you all here. And at this part of our service, for those who may not have been here to Temple Har Shalom before, we take a few moments to talk about the Torah portion and these two exceptional young men who will soon be telling us a quite extraordinary story and sharing with us their own teachings from the Torah after they chant that, plus what is known as a Haftarah portion, a portion which comes from the book of prophets. So what is this tradition that we are asking them to participate in, and why is it such a special time in their lives? Well, literally, for more than 2,000 years, young men particularly, at the age of 13, were seen as having the ability to comprehend and understand the learnings of the Torah, which are, the Torah, incidentally, is the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It doesn't matter what Torah you will see, how big, how small, how light, how heavy, they are all exactly the same, with the exact same number of letters, lines, paragraphs, but no punctuation. So one really needs to work hard to understand what the Torah says in Hebrew. And so one spends an entire life learning and reading Torah. To think that for 2,000 years, men were called to the Torah at the age of 13, and women just literally since 1922. So it's much newer for women to have that honor. But today we commemorate the fact that the Torah, which has been in our midst and part of the Jewish people for more than 4,000 years, we take one full year to read through its entire cycle. We've been doing this for quite some time. You would think we've got it right already. But indeed, the very reason that Nicholas and Andy are being called to the Torah is because we haven't gotten it right. God willing, their generation will do a much better job at creating a peaceful world where there is no hunger, no war, where everyone can find comfort and engage in education and fulfill their dreams. But until that time, the Torah will remain the New York Times #1 bestseller, as it has since there has been a New York Times bestseller list. And we will still be asking our young people to come to the Torah, just like Samantha and Chloe will do next, in order to help them get it right. Well, right now they are in the exact middle of the Torah, which puts them in that exciting book of Leviticus. I heard it somewhere, good, or Vayikra. And indeed, you're going to learn something very special about this portion, because it sums up the teachings of all our faith. So I want you to listen very carefully. But Andrew and Nicholas, on behalf of our congregation, I just want to tell you how very proud we are, how grateful we are to your families who are a regular feature here in our congregation, be it Sunday mornings or Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. They are integrated into the community, and truly this has become your Jewish home. And you both have embraced it with excitement, in truth, and seriousness in wanting to accomplish what you are witnessing, and also to fulfill the words that they're reading. You're going to hear that as a bar mitzvah, they not only have to chant and read and learn, however, they also have to do. And each one is involved in what's called a mitzvah project. And each one has been involved in becoming a teacher and modeling for those who will come after them. Now, incidentally, these boys, believe it or not, have other interests in life. And I have a feeling they're going to have fun filling all the time that they have given up for this day. But yet much will remain with them. As they were enwrapped in those two special talesim, they will remember that they will always be enwrapped by the love and support of their family and their mutual traditions. They will be enwrapped by a people who are so proud and truly count upon them. And they are enwrapped by their own convictions that have brought them to this moment and will carry them forward. So we are honored that you are here to hear them chant from this portion known as Kiddushin, holiness, for indeed each of them exhibits the finest qualities, and we are grateful. Now we'll chant from Kiddushin.
If you'd like to follow along in this morning's Torah portion, you can do so by turning to page 894 in the other large blue book surrounding you called the Torah, 894. Andy's first.
As Andrew is called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah, there are those who are going to be called forward to bless the Torah and this occasion, and it's a pleasure to welcome forward his aunts, Emily and Jennifer, and his uncles, Thomas and Scott.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael. V'amarta alehem kedoshim to you. Ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. Ish imo v'aviv tira'u v'et shabtotai tishmoru. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'tofenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We're going to ask you to just stay with us right here. And our second aliyot to the Torah are cousins, Alexa, Olivia, Ariana, Drew, Lauren, and Marley. Beautiful. All of you over here. Oh, wonderful. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Al tifnu el ha'elilim belohei masacha lo ta'asu lachem ani Adonai Elohechem Vechi tizbehu zevach shlamim ladonai lirtzonchem tizbahu. Bayom zivchachem ye'achel u'mechorat v'hanotar ad yom hashlishi ba'esh yisaref.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. And for our third aliyah to the Torah, we're going to ask you to stay, all of you. Come, okay. Come stay right here. Perfect. But we're going to invite your parents, Melissa and David, forward.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'im he'ahol ye'achel bayom hashishi pigohu lo yeratzeh. Ve'ochlav avono yisa ki et kodesh Adonai chilel v'nicharta hanefesh hahi me'amecha ukutrechem et kitzir artchem lo techale pe'at tzadcha liksor ve'leke kitzir ha lo telaket ve'charmecha lo te'ulel uferet karmecha lo telaket la'ani ve'lager ta'azov otam ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amud Abraham ben David v'Sara Leah lichvod haTorah habar mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo tignovu, velo techachashu, velo tishakru ish bamito, velo tishavu vishmi lashaker, v'chilalta et shem Elohecha ani Adonai. Lo ta'asok et recha, velo tigzol, lo talin pi'ulat zachir, idcha ad boker. Lo techaleo cheresh, v'lifnei iver, lo titain miksho, ve'ereta me'elohecha ani Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Awesome. Thank you. I'm just going to roll the Torah. 1 second, David.
Andy, wow, you did it. Actually, you rocked it. Feel proud. We know how hard you have worked for this day, and it really showed. Now it is time for our blessings for you. And I know you can't wait to see if Mom and I can get through this without crying. While these blessings are for you, we are the ones who truly feel blessed. You bring so much joy, laughter, and heart to our family, all with a ton of gratitude. Today with our blessings, we are showing you our gratitude and appreciating who you are, because our blessings for you today have their roots in your own quotes, things that you have said to us. Don't worry, these are carefully screened quotes. At the beginning of this school year, after a long week, you came home and you said, "Our home has got to be a peaceful place for me." We so get that, Andy. May you always feel like your home is an oasis. May you build and value a strong home life, religious life, and community.
Here's another great quote. You once told me you have a great work ethic as a mom. Well, may you also build and take pride in a strong work ethic in terms of your family life, your career, your friends, and community. May you also find happiness, humor, and success in everything you are and everything you do. You also once said to us, "When I swim, water is like medicine. May you be a doctor." Just kidding. No, I'm not that kidding. Okay. May you always pursue and enjoy activities that make you happy and healthy, and may you continue to enjoy these activities with family and friends, and even as a peaceful oasis on your own. You have also used your love of swimming to help others through Saturdays in Motion. May you always enjoy the pieces of your pie, but also prioritize and value being generous and sharing your talents and blessings with others. Here's another great Andy quote. Remember in 3rd grade when we received several calls from your teacher about less than stellar behavior? Time and time again, she'd call the house and we'd have a discussion, but without much improvement. Finally, though, one day you had a breakthrough. You looked us in the eyes on the way into school and you announced, "I got this. Let me fly." And that's the last we ever heard about your behavior, pretty much. So Andy, may you fly always with confidence, with strong, creative, and resourceful tools in your toolbox, and may your heart, your mind, your values, and your soul benefit from all of your experiences, including successes and including setbacks, so that you will have a beautiful flight through an amazing future.
Our final blessing is based on the very first word you ever said. Do you remember it?
Yeah. What is
More.
it? More. Yeah.
More. A perfect encapsulation of your spirit, your drive to enjoy more of life, to achieve more, to build more strong friendships, to be an honest and thoughtful person, and to do more to help others in need. We bless you with our hopes for your future. On this special day, we have used your own words to show you that you've already planted the seeds yourself for a lifetime of happiness, health, humor, peace, strong values, success, and generosity. We are always here to support you, but you got this.
And now it is an honor to call forward Nicholas. I do want to point out that as each of our B'nai Mitzvah have been chanting from Torah, they are using what is known in Hebrew as a yad, or a finger, because the silver finger keeps the letters of the Torah from blurring and being ruined by the oils in our skin. But once again, as these boys have showed, they have taken part in each aspect of creating this day for themselves, and each has made their own yad. And now, Nicholas, before you start to chant, it is a pleasure to welcome those who will bless. It's a pleasure to welcome forward your Uncle Alex, your Uncle Ross, and your grandmother, Vivian. to come forward for the first Aliyah. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, we'll do it all together. 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'chavanu michol hamim. V'natanu lanu el Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Lo tasu avel bamishpat, lo tisa fenetal, v'lo tedor pene gadol, b'tzedek tishpot amiteha, lo tele rahil be'ameha, lo tamod al damreha, ani Adonai, lo tisna et ahiha bilvaveha, hohea tohiha, et amiteha, lo tisav alav hate, lo tikom, lo titor, et bene ameha, biahavta lo reaha, kamoha ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'yeh olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. We'll give him a hug and come on over. For our second Aliyah, it's a pleasure to welcome forward Uncle Douglas.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'chaim v'natanu Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Et shukotai tishmoru, vehem tata, lo tarbia kilaim, satha, lo tizra kilaim, uveged kilaim, shatanez lo yaleha. Vish kish kaf et isha, shit vat zera, vish shivha, niherefet leish, Biafte lo niftata, uhuvsha lo nitan la, bikoret tie, lo yumtu ki lo hufasha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'kiyah olam nota b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Give him a hug. Doug, come on over here. And now what a pleasure to welcome forth your parents, Lara and Gary. Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amen. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. V'hivi et hashamo l'Adonai el peta ohel moed al hasham. V'hiper alav hakohin be'el hasham. Lifnei Adonai al hatato asher hata. v'nislalo mehatato asher hata.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'shanu olam. Nata b'toshenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noteinu haTorah.
Amen. Give him a hug.
Ya'amud na'am belara v'gari lishvot haTorah habar mitzvah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'hitavo el haaretz untatem, kol eitz mahel va'aroltem orlato, et piryo shalosh shanim yeh lahem, arelim lo yahel, uvashana harevit yeh kol piryo, kodesh ilulim ladonai, uvashana hachamishit tolu et piryo, Lo husif lahem tovuato ani Adonai Elohehem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam natam b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Nicholas, we are so proud of you. You have worked so hard to prepare for today, and you chanted your Torah and half-Torah portions beautifully and did a wonderful job leading the congregation in prayer. You have reached a significant milestone as you have become a bar mitzvah. It is so hard for us to believe that this time has come, as it feels like yesterday that we prayed so hard to have a baby. Sorry. After we almost gave up, we were told that you were going to join our family, and you became our miracle baby. Mommy was so happy that she did one of her crazy dances. You were so small that your first nickname was Tic Tac. When you joined us, we became the happiest people in the world, and our lives were forever changed. We saw things in each other we never knew, as you have always brought out the best of us. And you have brought all of us together. All of our relatives have now become a family filled with joy and happiness. It has been our life's dream to watch you grow into the person you are today, and we see so many things in you that you may not have ever seen in yourself. Your inner strength, as you have overcome so many obstacles and done it with grace and perseverance. Your kindness, as you truly are a kind soul that is beyond sweet, generous, and caring, and you truly connect with everyone you meet and have concern for their well-being, all done with a sympathetic ear. Your intellectual curiosities, as you have insatiable interest in learning and are so very aware of the world you are in and what you want to do to make it a better place. Your ability to think differently and bring perspectives and make all of us challenge our way of thinking. Your humor and levity, as you always make everyone laugh and just when we need it the most. Your willingness to grow and evolve as you seek input on what you can do better and change accordingly. Your honesty and ethical being as you treat others with respect and integrity. And your confidence as you lead others and hold yourself high and do not shy away from being the bright light. While we would like to think that we made you who you are today, we know that this was already within you. You have also been part of making us who we are today, as you often teach us things. For example, we've become even more loving, caring, and generous because every day you remind us not to focus on what is impossible, but how to make things possible.
Nicholas, these characteristics have developed you into a young man before us today. It's with much love, hope, and prayer that we bestow the following wishes upon you for the future. We wish that as you grow, all the great things that make you who you are today carry into the future, and you continue to evolve and new strengths emerge or get stronger. We wish that you continue to be happy, laugh, and find all the joys in life, and when there are challenges, that you use your strengths to overcome them. We wish someday you will be here with your child and your child's child for their bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, and experience the pride as we do as we sit here today. We wish that your kindness and caring is reciprocated and you're always loved in the way you love others. We wish you good health, fulfillment, and a long life lived with peace, and we wish that you continue to believe in yourself and lead others and to know that you can be who you want to be, and yes, Nicholas, you can change the world. We hope you look back on this day as one of your great milestones in life. There will be many, many others, but this will be maybe the last one that we're actually taller than you. Whenever we spend time together as a family with you and Samantha, we are filled with joy and are at peace. And as you continue to grow, we know you'll begin to create a life beyond us, and while that will make us sad, it is how it should be, and after all, we did it ourselves. Well, while our time together as a family will change, it will never change how much we love you. Nicholas, you are a beautiful boy. Mazel tov.
It is now time for us to lift and dress the Torah prior to the chanting of the Haftorah portions. I would ask everyone to rise, please, as we call forward Andy's cousins, Marty and Debbie, Stephen and Amber, Gail and Mark.
Please be seated. Our Torah service continues with the chanting of the Haftarah, the additional and prophetic portion read on all Shabbatot and holidays. This morning's Haftarah comes from the prophet Amos. It can be found on page 999.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar benvim tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai Haboher Batorah, Uv Moshe Avdo, Uv Yisrael Amo, Invimvie Haimet Vatzedek. Halo Hivnei Hushim Atem Li B'nei Yisrael Ne'um Adonai Halo et Yisrael Heleti Me'eretz Mitzrayim Uflishtim Mikaftor Varam Mikir Hine Adonai Elohim B'mamlacha hachata'a v'hishmati ota me'al panei hadama efez ki lo ashmid et beit Yaakov num Adonai ki ne anohi mitzaveh v'hanioti b'chol ha'im et beit Yisrael ka'asher yinoa b'dvarah Lo yipol seror aretz, Baherev yamutu, Kol hatayami, Hamrim lo tagish v'tadim, Ba'adenu hara, Bayom hahu akim, Et sukat David hanofelet, V'gararti et pirtzehen, Vaharisota vakim, uvniti hakim elam.
Lema'an Yershu et She'erit Edom Bechol Hagoyim Asher Nikra Shmi Alehem Ne'um Adonai Osezot Hine Yamim Ba'im Ne'um Adonai Benigash Horesh Bakotzer B'derei Chanavim B'moshech Hazara V'hitifu heharim asis bechol hagvaot titmo gagna v'shavti et shavut ami Yisrael uvanu arim neshamot v'yashavu v'nat'u charamim v'shatu et inam v'yasu ganot v'yachlu et prihem untatim al admatam Velo yinachu me'al admatam asher natati lachem amar Adonai Elohecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik bechol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'mdaber u'mkayim she'echol davarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod ol tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mvarchim ota yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai makadesh ha'shabbat. Amen.
And it is now time to return the Torah to the Ark. I invite Nicholas's family members, Aunt and Uncle Michelle and Ross, Cousin Alyssa and Uncle Douglas, together with Great Aunt and Uncle Jan and Joe, to please come forward and open the Ark doors. And I'm going to ask everyone to rise, please. all be seated. It is now time for both Nicholas and Andrew to share with us their interpretation of this morning's Torah portion.
Good morning. Today I'll be reading the Kiddushim, which is a portion of the Torah that defines the holiness code. It is God's command to all of the Jewish people to be holy, such that the holiness is not reserved for any one person, but all people. As part of the Kiddushim, it provides laws that outline what is expected to be holy, some of which are ritual and some are ethical, defining how to act humane and sensitive to others. The aged, the handicapped, and the poor are to be given consideration and courtesy. For example, one law requires that you shall not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind, and you shall rise before the aged and show your deference to the old. It also says that strangers to be given the same love we give our fellow citizens, by requiring that the strangers that reside with you shall be to you as your citizens. You shall love each one as yourself. These laws provide that to be holy, you are being kind to those that are disadvantaged and vulnerable. At the end of the day, it is just about being kind to one another. I am taught this every day by my family and friends, my school and my temple. Once I saw one of my best friends getting verbally abused by someone, and so I stepped in and told the person speaking unkind to my friend to stop. My lesson here is to not bully others, or if it is happening to someone else, do not stand by and watch. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to grow up in the world as it is today? For me, it does not feel like we are being kind to others, and in particular, the ones that are most vulnerable. Every day I see things like building a wall to keep away strangers, not providing health care to those who are poor or aged and in need, or we're not getting kind gets you ahead in life. To me, it feels like politics and individual preferences are making being kind not okay, and that is not right. My lesson here is that we should treat others in a way we want to be treated, and not have people that are vulnerable feel unsafe or unwanted. I'm here today to help fulfill my family's desires as well as my own. My parents introduced me to the religion when I was very young. I was at this preschool in this building since I was 3 years old. My mother is the youngest of 4 with 3 older brothers, and while they all became a bar mitzvah, my mother did not, as our religious school was vandalized with Nazi swastikas, and she never got to go back. So in one sense, I am finishing where she left off. Also, I have learned the importance of being kind to others and becoming a bar mitzvah. I can continue to show others what hasn't been done and what needs to be done. Being kind to the most vulnerable was the inspiration for my bar mitzvah project. As many of you may know, I love to read. Through the temple, I was able to find an organization that helps get books to children in need called Bridge of Books. So over the last several months, I have been collecting children's books for parts of New Jersey to get them to those who are in need, and so they can have the enjoyment of reading like me. I have enjoyed the learnings here during my religious school, in particular the history of our people. I am currently attending J-Histi and plan to continue my learnings in the future both formally and informally with a trip to Jerusalem. Mazel tov to Andrew Mouse on this day that he is also becoming a bar mitzvah. I would like to thank all the individuals here at Temple Har Shalom that have helped prepare me for this day, including Ms. Block, Cantor Berman, Rabbi Kaplan, and Rabbi Munznitsky. I would like to thank my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins for being there for me and coming long distances to be here. I would also like to thank Jocelyn for taking care of me and trying to raise a kind soul. I would like to thank my sister Samantha for being a great sister, and for when we fight to force me to bring forward my Jewish learnings by making sure I stay kind, which is not always so easy. I would like to thank Mom and Dad for working so hard to make sure I'm able to have so much and wanting so much for me and raising me in a positive way. I know they have worked very hard, and I watch how both of them are so generous to others and act holy. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you for coming to share this day with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving the gift of life and the ability to make a positive difference.
Nicholas, Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Thank
You gave a lot of gratitude and thanks to others, but it's we who want to give thanks to you. We want to thank you for all that you've done in modeling, not only for your sister, but also for us, showing us what it means to have such a caring heart and also a wonderful inherent spirit that makes you so comfortable here on the Bima. Truly, I must say, it has been a real treat for the Cantor and I to have 2 boys who who are so calm and relaxed and just enjoying not only the moment, but each other. And that is a very special treat. Nick, I just want to pick up on knowing that your sweetness is not only internal, but you like chocolate a lot as well.
Yes.
So I hope that your life will be filled with many chocolate moments, and may it sweeten those times, as your mom and dad so beautifully said, that are not only blessings, but are also challenges. And second, you recently told me that you are on the track team.
Yes.
And that you are a sprinter. Well, I think if there is anything I can tell you, it's wonderful to go through life at a slower pace. Sprint through those things that perhaps bring you challenge, but take a moment to savor each and every blessing you're given in life. So while your coaches may say faster, we over here say slower. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
First, I would like to congratulate Nick on becoming a bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. It has been fun sharing this experience with you. As I look at everybody who is here for my bar mitzvah and everybody who has listened to me chant my Torah portion, I am grateful. I can imagine, however, that many of you cannot totally relate to everything that has been said and done today. But the meaning of my Torah portion is actually a message to everyone, to all of the people. My Torah portion is a message from God to the entire community. This message is not only a central part of God's vision, but also is located in the exact center of the Torah. So what did God decide to put in this special place? He decided to give his people key instructions or laws to live by. This code, if followed, would make the people holy. Holiness is called Kiddushim, and Kiddushim is the name of my Torah portion. Before I explain what God meant by holy, let me give you a little background about what is happening at this point of the Torah, or story of the Jews. At this point in the story, the Jews had escaped from slavery in Egypt. Finally, they were free. But now what? They felt a little lost and didn't know what they should do next with their new lives. God realized this and knew his people needed some help, some direction, some order, and some laws and guidance to center them. Otherwise, there would be chaos. My Torah portion is when God gives the people rules to live by. God gives everybody one central instruction: be holy. So what is holiness? Holiness is a code of values, decisions, and behavior that God considered ideal. God announced to the people that he was holy, and that by following his code, they could be holy too. Here are some of God's instructions. Follow the 10 commandments, such as you shall not murder, you shall not steal, and you must honor your mother and father. Also, you must support the disadvantaged members of society, be honest, and do not hold a grudge. My Torah portion has taught me that holiness is not restricted to God, rabbis, priests, the Pope, or a select few. When I first read the word holy, I thought it was above my head and restricted to people at the top. My portion has taught me that I and everyone can be holy by following basic rules of living as a good person. For example, there are some big ones, like no one should murder, which hopefully is easy for everyone. But how about the more subtle ones that we come across a lot in our everyday lives? For example, don't hold a grudge. I have tried to be holy by giving people second and sometimes third chances. For example, there was one guy that I trusted as a good friend. All of a sudden, he broke the trust and was nasty and encouraged some of my friends to put me down and reject me. I wanted to kick him out of my life and move on. I did that for a while, but then decided to give him another chance. At first, I had a grudge against him, but I didn't hold that grudge. Little by little, I let him back in, and we even played on the same baseball team. Although we did not win a lot, we had a lot of fun, and it feels good to know that by giving him another chance and not holding a grudge, I was being holy. Another meaningful way I have been holy is through my Mitzvah project. My Mitzvah project has been to volunteer at my local Y for a program called Saturdays in Motion. Saturdays in Motion is a special program that helps autistic kids have some fun on the weekend. When I go, there are about 30 autistic kids, and they assign 1 or 2 volunteers to each child. We play with them for an hour in the gym and an hour in the pool. This is not as easy as it may sound. The volunteers must be on guard at all times because sometimes the kids will try to run away or do harmful things. Because I'm on the swim team, the instructor gives me some tougher assignments in the pool, which is always a fun challenge. One special memory I have was from the first time I went to Saturdays in Motion. I was in the pool with one kid who did not talk or communicate for most of the time. However, after I made a big effort to connect with him, he finally did open up. The last part of the hour was great for both of us, considering it had been a long time with no talking. As I led him back to his mom, she told me something meaningful, that her son almost never opened up to anyone outside of his family. She was relieved and moved that her son and I had made a connection. This was a special moment for me because I felt accomplished and that I had made a difference. I now realized from studying my Torah portion that I was being holy. As you can see, we can all make efforts to be holy in our everyday lives. We are at the center of our own efforts to be holy and to make a positive difference in life. Without my bar mitzvah, I may not have been able to see how being holy is achievable by everybody. I have appreciated becoming a bar mitzvah because of the lessons it has taught me. I have to admit, part of the reason I went through this process is that everybody Jewish my age was becoming a bar mitzvah, and because of my parents' expectations. But the main reason I am here today is because I view becoming a bar mitzvah as an important Jewish tradition for people who are becoming adults. Studying Torah and preparing for today has not been easy, but has been worth it. As I started to study Torah, spend hours practicing, working with Cantor Berman and writing this speech, I have felt a great sense of accomplishment and have really learned about how I want to live and act. Although my bar mitzvah has been a great milestone, I view it as just one chapter in my Jewish education. I look forward to learning more about Jewish traditions, Israel, and other issues in the Jewish community. I hope to one day visit Israel and visit historic locations like the Western Wall. Another important part of my future Jewish life is keeping strong connections with my Jewish friends, like my great friends from Camp Micah who have traveled a long way to share this special day with me. I would like to thank Cantor Berman and Rabbi Muznitsky for their guidance and support. I would also like to thank my parents for helping me practice my Hebrew and their encouragement in this process and in general. I would like to thank my sister Chloe for inspiring me to be a decent role model and a great brother. A huge thank you to my grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and all of my awesome cousins. I would also like to thank my friends for being here today. I know some of you are not familiar with the ritual of a bar mitzvah, and I appreciate that you have been so supportive and here for me. I would also like to thank those of you who have traveled a far distance to be here with us. Today, I am also thinking about my great-grandma, Gigi Paris, and my close relative, Anita Leifel, who could not be here today. I would like to acknowledge my other great-grandparents, whom I never had a chance to meet, but who are a very special part of our family story. I will end with a personal blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Dear God, I ask for a happy, healthy, and peaceful life for myself, my family, my friends, and our community. I ask that one day I can start my own family that will continue the important Jewish traditions like the celebration today. Thank you.
I think I'm going to age myself now as I ask you how many remember that wonderful commercial, double your pleasure, double your fun. And indeed, our pleasure has been doubled by these two extraordinary, thoughtful, similar yet different young men. Well, Andy Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
What a joy it has been to listen to you. And while I couldn't help but think while your parents were thinking doctor, physician, I'm thinking rabbi. Well, no matter where life takes you, we know that you will have great success because you have a wonderful heart and spirit that allows you to go after whatever you want, but realize you don't do that without realizing that there are many who bring you to that point. And that is called appreciation. Now, Andy, I've learned a lot about you, and almost every bit of it I respect, love, and enjoy. But when I learned last night that you are a very happy Boston Red Sox fan, this Philly fan, didn't know how I was quite going to bless you. But then I listened to your Devar Torah, and I realized everybody deserves a second chance.
There you go.
So, Andy, I will try to root for your team if you root for my team. But most importantly, I just want to continue rooting for you. And I hope that you will allow us always to share in the bounty and blessing of your life, and know that we are here even when the waters are not as calm as they are in the swimming pool. We are here to help ease them. Well, there is also a very special person who has been here on the Bima with us, and that is a member of our executive board and a vice president of our congregation, and someone who has some special words and special gifts to give to you and Nicholas. Come on up, Nicholas. And I just want you to know that we actually even pay attention to their favorite colors, so we know exactly who gets what bag. And it is a pleasure for me to now welcome forward Greg Paradise.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So first, congratulations to Lara and Gary, Melissa and David, and all the other family and friends that have traveled near and far, even those from Boston. I, too, have a different team that I root for, but we'll just leave that aside for now. But I know for both of you, it's been a great journey over the last several years, and it all came together today. Nicholas, Andrew, you both did a fantastic job with everything today. As you look out into the seats in front of you and you heard the celebrations, you can see the pride and joy clearly on the faces of all of your family and friends. It is an honor and a blessing to represent our community and the Board of Trustees at this service and to join in your special time today. While I have not had the pleasure of knowing either of you well before today, listening to both of you today, it is clear that Judaism and Temple Har Shalom are important parts of your lives. And we hope you will remember this experience as a beginning and not a finale in your Jewish education. And we look forward to your participation in the Hebrew High program here and encourage you to maintain your connection to Judaism and the wider Jewish community as you move ahead in all the future stages of your lives. Today you have shown that you understand what it means to become a bar mitzvah, and you've chanted from the Torah and Haftorah with great skill, but you have also shown that you understand the teachings of the Torah and the basic values of Judaism. So I ask you to always remember the feelings that you had here today and the significance of your Jewish roots, and remember that your parents will always be there to support you and can be depended upon to steer you on the right path. So we have a few gifts here for you. The first is your own Kiddush cup that is made specifically for Temple Har Shalom. So someday you'll be drinking wine out of this cup at future life celebrations, and you can remember the sweetness of this day. The second is a certificate from NIFTY, the National Federation of Temple Youth, that provides a discount for a program or trip to Israel. We also have a certificate that commemorates this date that you'll get later. And finally, a new edition this year, we have a book titled Values and Ethics Through a Jewish Lens, Talking Points for Family Discussions, something that particularly appropriate given your Torah portion today. So on behalf of the whole Temple Board and community, I wish you and your family Mazel Tov on this fantastic achievement, and we wish you all the best in the future. Congratulations.
Well, I know both of these young men are excited to get the party started. They've worked very hard, and I think they're even a little hungry. So we are going to move to conclude our service now. I'm going to ask that you please return to your prayer books, page 586. As we will continue with the Aleinu, and to open the ark doors, it's a pleasure to welcome forward Andy's great aunts and uncles, Eleanor, Pat, Carl, Pat, and Jack. I'd ask everyone to rise, please.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים בפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
May God bless you and keep you. May God shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God grant you a long life filled with spiritual, mental, and physical well-being, as we all say. Amen. Go back to your seats, remain standing. I do ask that you please remain standing for this time in our service, as we do each and every time we come together as a congregational family. We remember those who are no longer physically present with us, but very much alive within our hearts and our memories. On this Shabbat, we commemorate the yortzites of Martin Chelnick, Florence Drazen, H. Saul Drazen, Norma Joyce Edwin, Regina Epstein, Bernice Goodrich, Rose Held, Sherman Hirsch, Randy Kay, Toby Milden, Morris Needwich, Helen Rubin, Abraham Shapiro, Ann Soffer, William Toplansky, and Shirley Weinstein. We remember two who have been taken from our recent midst, Camille Rausch, and Judy Mann. And always during this time of B'nai Mitzvah, we remember those upon whose shoulders our B'nai Mitzvah stand, and we particularly remember today Nicholas's grandfather, James Guth. Their names and the names of all of our loved ones are added to those of the American Armed Forces and the Israel Defense Forces who have given their lives in defense of our nation and the land of Israel. It is our tradition to recite the Kaddish prayer as a community so that no mourner need ever stand alone. I'd ask you to turn to page 598 for the Kaddish prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrah kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'hayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam amei amaya, Yitbarach v'yittavach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu, Le'olam yimkol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen, Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen, oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We pray that the source of peace will send peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us, as we all say, Amen. Amen. And you may be seated. Well, this celebration is going to continue, and it is wonderful that all of you will be remaining here at the synagogue in order to join in the celebration for Nicholas and for Andy and his family. So these are the directions, though you can choose whatever party you would like to go to. I am sure you will have a wonderful time at either one. But if you would like to go to the correct one, I know that Andrew and his family will be going to the rear of the sanctuary, and that Nicholas and his family will be going downstairs to the social hall. And so, or try out both, whatever you would like. We'll see what they're each serving and check it out. But we are very excited that you will help us to continue the joy of Shabbat. And therefore, we just need to do the blessing over the wine and over the challah so we can begin our celebrations. I am going to invite boys, come on back up here to join Nicholas. It's a pleasure to welcome back his sister Samantha and cousins Alyssa and Kayla. Come on up. And for Andy, it's a pleasure to welcome back his sister Chloe and cousins Spencer, Bella, Charlie, and PJ. Come on up. Guys, each hold up a cup, and here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'tei avon.
All right, pull that challah apart. Start eating.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please, you're all invited to make your way to the celebration.